Good morning. Welcome to another session of live streaming the futures market. Good morning, everybody, and hope you've had a good evening, good night, whatever it was. Hope things are looking good as you start your day. I am tired, but things it started as trading day last night, of course, and on stream, and we're up $260 so far. This is the second half, basically. Got a bunch of things popping here as we come on the air. Let's see what's what. Haven't really checked out the overnight yet. I charted out copper. That's it. I've literally only been awake for 30 minutes. Well, not even sure you consider it awake. I've only been conscious for 30 minutes. So let's see. Overnight range on the NASDAQ as it continues to push upwards. About 100 points upwards. S&P has a range of about 34 points. We saw bonds give a signal here, running off the 2 minute instead of the 5. We'll mark that off there. We've really been watching the bonds closely lately because they've been looking really good. Looks like this might have stopped out. Anyway, thank you for joining me this morning. Bright and early here. As always, feel free to ask any questions or just say hi. I like to hear from people as I'm streaming. Here's copper overnight. Yep, that just went to profit target as well, I think. Yep, there it went. Copper's been back to, I mean, it is a weird, choppy looking night, but looks like, gonna got mostly wins. Not entered on this signal here because we broke the bands, but let's see here. 865 up to 50. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked. And wouldn't have got in here because of the same reason. But, so far for the day on copper, 1, 2, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 5, sorry, 6, 2, 6, 4, 7, 4. Bitcoin has been kind of stagnant through the night. Only had one real run. Let's check the price of Bitcoin. kind of stagnant as well. The RTY. Ooh, Russell. Look at the Russell. That's been a wonderful run all night, basically. Wow. So this would have been a long stop out if we had been in this trade here based on this sell, which, I would have had a little bit of reservation getting into anyway because it was coming down into bands that are coming up. But I mean, honestly, it it just went sideways, very tight sideways for 5 hours for finally giving in. So assume that was a loss. If we had gotten in on this buy signal, mark all these out. This was a sell. That probably would stop out. Again, it was going into a upward trending band. Yeah, so it would have stopped out. This is one of those where once you're seeing that you have a big uptrend, consistent uptrend, you want to ignore the sell signals and just go for the buy signals, or opposite if the trend will be the opposite direction, because those sell signals are just pullbacks. They're just giving you an opportunity to get in, maybe get in with the next contract. Now this is a pretty decent sell signal, though. Again, because we're in this long uptrend, I might not, I would have probably ignored it anyway. But so far, this is actually looking pretty strong. This might be the end of the trend. I see that the ES and the NQ is also kind of starting to show some weakness. We do have, I mean, if you look, it's gonna be ugly. Hold on, wrong. If you look here on the daily chart, we're once again approaching all-time highs on the ES. All-time highs is 50. Oh, I'm sorry, 45, 49, 50, and we're back up to 4,500. Pulling back a little bit here, but we're getting close to all-time highs. I'm not sure if the Nasdaq's near all-time highs too. Oops, but I should take that back to 2 minute. The Nasdaq was recently at all-time highs in the last 2 months. All-time highs on the Nasdaq, 15,708. So we're about 350 points away from that as well. Definitely seems to be back in bullish momentum after this pullback from these highs. We saw a loss from that high down to this low of 15,708, 14,835. I'm sorry, 14,367. So about 1,500 points. 7, 367. Probably shouldn't try to do math early in the morning. Calculator. 15,708 minus 14. 367. Yeah, that was right. About 1,341 points. And that's working to get that all back. See if we continue to head toward all-time highs. Gold. See, gold just recently started an uptrend here. Looks like gold also big uptrend, starting almost from open. You can see here it started about there. It's 1763. We hit a high about 1783, so about $2,000 a contract, maybe a little bit more. And then since it started heading down, but now heading back up. There's plenty of opportunities to jump in here. You can see how when you start a downtrend, see this SMA line going downward, and each of these buy signals fail until here. And if you look, this one came as this was already straightening out and starting to curl up. So when you see a strong downtrend like this on the SMA, you just want to grab the sell signals. So let's mark those off. 1, 2, 1, 6. Oops. So like, see now this one actually was right before a pullback, and this one would have stopped us out. That happens. Better signal would have been here as it bounced off. And you don't need to wait for a signal. You can just play these bounces. And then this would have been a good one. And Q giving us a sell signal. Now, see the sell signal I'm hesitant on, although I'm looking at the sell that the S&P gave about 10 minutes ago, right as we're coming on air. 15 minutes ago, I guess. Time flies. This looks, a little bit good, but it's mainly been sideways. You still have uptrending bands, so I'm not sure this is going to be a good entry. There we go. Okay. We'll mark this off. Could have got in on Sim. As you can see, normally I go for 15 points. That'll take us way down below the bands. So that's another reason I'm kind of doubting that does what we wanted to do if we had entered that trade. So let's check out the energies. Looks like we had a downtrend start recently on crude. Let's see what it did overnight. Let's go to that one. Overnight. Oh, big uptrend basically. Let's see. Hit this low here about 9 p.m. Eastern last night. And it's going up about 150. No, I'm sorry about. Yeah, 150 ticks, so about $1,500. Now pulling back some. You can see how things often range overnight. I mean, not range, I'm sorry, trend. And that's another reason why I'm thinking about wanting to trade overnights. Natural gas seems like a tight range. We're starting to hit lows yesterday from highs all last week. As you can see right there, we had it's trying to come up now, but still a majorly downward SMA line. But look at that, perfect double top. We came down here, hit the low, it came back up, failed here. It came back up and exhausted here, and then kind of consolidated up and down a little bit, and then tried again. And then a big failure off this point to downward. So this is a very key area at 5054. So if we start seeing this trending back upwards, we would not, I mean, from here, we have enough room. But if we see something, where it starts right around this area, you would want to get in long until after it broke through this area resistance. Platinum hasn't been as exciting as I thought it would be. But it's been uptrending all night too. It kind of went in the same way as gold did, although it's more of a sideways now. Natty Gas is sending us buy signals. As you can see, the strong downtrending bands here, as well as still a very steep downward slope of the SMA on the 5-minute chart, is going to make me not go into this trade. Crude is giving us a sell signal as well, or a short signal. But it's been kind of sideways since it sent this signal here. I mean, this signal shot at 20 minutes ago, and we would only be 6 ticks in the profit if we had entered there. So that has me hesitating as well. We'll see if my hesitation is worth it. Copper. Copper with a big candle up. 16 ticks on that candle. So now we're seeing the buy signal trying to pop up here on copper. We have a little under 2 minutes to decide whether we want to get in this trade. My only hesitation is we have a really big candle on the 5 minute. Basically, all this on the 2 minute here is on the five, and you have the 5 minute that's bumping right up against its SMA line. As you can see, I drew out a whole bunch of support and resistance lines. I did that last night, and they went through. Boom, 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 and boom. Looks like, though, we should draw one out to here. This is the last place it exhausted coming downward. It's been kind of rangy since that point. We'll move this line down to there. Yep. Now we see rejection. Rejection off the SMA line here on the 5 minute. Rejection off the Bollinger Band on the 2 minute, basically. So it's still stuck basically in its range, although it actually looks like it's trying to downtrend. Downtrend really started here, and this would have given us a nice 20 tick win, be it kind of choppy-ish. So as you can see, these sell signals. Remember, I said I didn't really trust this signal here on the Nasdaq, and right now, I mean, we're just kind of sideways. It's if we had entered that trade, we'll be down 2 points, just $40. No biggie, but I don't know. It looks like this might range at least until we start seeing more volume. We are coming up on 8 a.m. on the East Coast. We start seeing more volume come in around that time, so might work out then. See that the Ultra Bond has also been now kind of doing this roller coaster thing. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Another buy signal here. we can get in on that on the sim. See what it does. If I can find my chart. There it is. We'll jump in. Already missed one tick, but there it is. We'll buy the bid. Let me see what is the, I can mark it in, I guess. Okay, we're filled. See what this does. This is where on the sim account. I don't yet trade the bond on my Gauntlet account. But it gives us something to watch here. I can pin this to the bottom of the screen. Always on top. And then we can go check other things. If I hadn't blocked the little thingy to do that. There we go. I would have been hesitant to enter this trade on any regular account, even if I did trade it, just because we've seen it come up and we've seen it and not reach a more than 4 ticks, and it came back down, and this would have been, oh, that actually, well, I got the 6 ticks. So I mean, it's not. Maybe it seems like it's rangy now. Maybe the profit target should be smaller. So we'll see. Right now, this is pulling back. We're down 2 ticks on the sim trade. It's beginning to look a lot like no. It's beginning to look like this was a bad sell signal here. It looks like we're gonna bounce off the SMA line on the 5 minute and maybe continue upwards. Like this is a consolidation, pull back to the SMA, and then head back north. Copper. So copper is okay. Copper has sent us a buy signal now on the 2 minute chart. It has broke the SMA line on the 5 minute. I have a minute to decide whether I want to enter this trade. It did break the band on this 2 minute and it bounced down. We're going to get the chart ready just in case. Signal's gone away, but we shall see. We shall see ya. We'll just kind of watch this for the next minute with our finger on the trigger. Oops, sorry, did not mean to bring up Discord there. Forgot to move it off screen. Let's see, it's kind of just teasing me here. We are about, let's see, the buy signal stayed, but we see this pullback here. I'm going to wait to see if we get above this wick here that it made on that um, last candle. Because you do see that the SMA line on the 5 minute is still kind of heading downwards. So this could be a bounce off the SMA line. So I'm basically waiting for confirmation that this is strong enough to get through there and continue heading upwards. So I'll move the copper chart off screen. And watch, we'll see what other things are doing. Natural gas, big move. Ooh, big candle downward. $550 candle downward, making new lows of the day. See a big candle down here on crude oil too. This would have made this a winning trade. So the energy's quick moves down. This bond trade we in on Sim is back to break even. So we look here now whether or not this was a trade we could have been in. And it's not really. It sent. I mean, we were on a sell already. Had just sent a buy right into the bands, which we have not have entered. But in order to grab this move, we would have needed a sell signal up in here. Unless we were playing the SMA line, and we did this candle did form below the SMA line, we could have gotten in on this candle based on that break. It's bounced off the third band, now head back up. It's up 16 ticks. Indices, see, this would have been a very bad trade to enter. We're close to our stop out here if we had entered that trade. About over 70% of the way. And it looks like we're probably going to get a buy signal here very soon. Actually, we're right at that level. You can see it actually touched. This red line here. The S&P, though, more sideways than the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is upward momentum, sideways momentum on the S&P. The Russell, that pullback on the Russell would have got us the profit target, 35 ticks. Russell's the one that does its own little thing. Our bond trade's now one tick in the profit. See down here in the right hand corner of my screen. Bitcoin trying to trend down now, but it's been choppy all. Copper did bounce off this SMA on the 5-minute. So as you can see, this sell signal, this buy signal wouldn't have been good. I would never, and I really, well, I'm not awake yet. I would never have taken a buy signal on something that fire into the bands, and this is why. You know, I would say 75% of the time you're gonna get this pullback that we're seeing here, because the bounce off the bands. Now, there's times that it will surprise me and go that way, and anything's possible. But in this case, we can see it reached a high of on this candle of 78.10, and it's already down to 77.20. So getting in here on the reversal would have been better. Would have been a great idea. We would have got 20 ticks at this point. Oh, we just got stopped out on our bond trade on Sim. So right now, it seems like we're seeing some weakness in the markets overall. Things that are trying to go upwards are going downwards, you know, shortly after. Copper, everything's heading down. Uh, Gas, oil. What's gold doing? Gold's still heading down too? No, gold's going up. Gold and platinum going up. You check the ag products. They've been choppy, slightly downward. Oh, well, except for corn. Corn went up all night in a barcoding fashion. Sell. Now, yeah, we can take this off top since we stopped out of that trade. It's actually a big move down on the bonds. And that's why I said, if you look at the bond, here, I wouldn't have gotten in that trade on my regular account. Because you can see here, it's just been moving up, down without any real follow through either way. So we got a sell signal now. And this might, maybe we'll go in the reverse. Let's do that. Since it's a sim, why not? You know? This I actually like. And this I might actually would actually enter on because it's been more of the downward trend. These look like pullbacks of a larger downward trend. So we'll get in here again on sim. And I just market it in and probably should have tried to go in on a limit order. But we'll put that always on top again and put it back down here in the corner after I do that. So what's Copper yelling at me about here? We have an big sell signal in Copper. Also looks like it wants to start trending downward. Got a minute on this candle to see what it wants to do. Also hit a band and is pulling back. So the question we gotta ask ourselves is: are we entering a longer downward trend? As you can see, the SMA is trending downward, or are we just gonna start bouncing from band to band, up and down, up and down? And that's the tough question right now. We can see this pull back almost all the way back. This candle. So waiting for confirmation here. See the signal just went away. And we're now the candle's now a doji, a green doji, and that's how it closed. Now it might still push down. Our bond trade is 2 ticks in the profit on the sim. Has a 7-tick profit target, I believe. Maybe 8. Forget what I set that at. I've been running 7 on the charts, so I should probably check that. Yep, it seems like we're. Ooh, wow. Copper doesn't know what it wants to do right now. So it came down and bounced off this band. See, this would have been actually some pretty good plays if you wanted to play the bands. Bounced here. Set it if you rested in order right on the band. Now this is in the way. Let's move this out of the way for a second. Rested in order on the band. 4.780. came down to 4640. So that was 30 ticks. The third band to third band, and now it's right back up to 4705. So been 30 ticks and almost 30 more ticks. So I mean that's $375 down, 375 back up. Natty gas. So natural gas did that huge move down and is now completely bounced back up and above where it started on this candle. Looks like it's trying to curl now in the 5. So it looks like we might be trying to make a move back up on natural gas. Oil's kind of continuing to go downwards. But throughout the night, oil I'm sorry, I keep saying range, trended up almost all night, whereas natural gas was kind of choppy-ish and stayed kind of within a pretty large range. You see crude still falling here. And that's not to be unexpected considering crude is playing with highs that it has not seen in since 2015. So natural gas did bounce off SMA lines here, so we'll wait for a signal. See who we can get in. Copper got up here, then bounced again. Still sideways. We didn't stop out of this NASDAQ trade if we had gotten in. Hey, but you see everything's just kind of moving sideways. Russell is also kind of sideways. Still slightly trending downward, but definitely nothing to be excited about. My trader kind of likes to get excited about everything. So back to the UB trade that we're in on Sim, we're just one tick in the profit. Nothing to be really excited about there either. Well, bad fact, we're back to break even. As always, please feel free to say hi in chat. So I'm not just droning on and hearing myself in my ear all the time. Uh, Talking to myself. Ask questions, make statements, give me feedback. Make me feel like I'm not all alone in the world. Oh, sorry. Now 2 ticks in the profit on the ZB. Of course, I have it right in the middle of the screen so I can't see alerts. Platinum we ignore, basically. Now that trade is actually down 2 ticks. So the market seems rather choppy so far this morning. Not giving any real direction anywhere besides gold. Gold's uptrending. Everything else is choppy. With no real direction. Oh, and oil. Oil's going down. So gold and oil are the two that have the actual direction. But everything else is kind of sideways. Can't figure out what it wants to do. And when you're in sideways markets, you really don't want to get in unless you're going for like 1 or 2 tick scalps, or a few tick scalps. We could have got 3 ticks on these bond trades both ways. Good morning, Randwolf. Thank you for joining me. Yep, be interesting to see, with our continuing strong moves up, we are sideways right now. What happens at the open? Whether it sells off some of this uptrend or whether we see what happened yesterday. Yesterday we just kind of trended up all day after from the open. I mean, I was like kind of in shock when I looked back and realized that we basically went from the open, open at 6061 and we got up to 297. So over 200 points on the Nasdaq. I I didn't even realize I was doing that until after I looked back. Yeah, I saw the open, but I didn't realize it ended up trending all day. Now see this CUB. I mean, it's just kind of bobbing here. Oh, there we go. So this will be a great trade to actually take. But again, I don't take the gauntlet. I don't take the uh, bonds yet on the gauntlet just because that's 32, 30. But oh wow, strong move down on the bonds. This trade is now up. Okay, we got stopped out on my trailing stop. I believe that was about a $200, $210 trade. So about 7 ticks. That been a nice move. So it took it took 5 ticks down. This was a 5 tick loss here. Now this 7 tick loss here. So 50% win rate, but we got $60 out of it overall. Uh, Once I get a little bit more of a cushion, I really like the way bonds kind of move. They seem to give good short-term moves, like between 5 and 7 ticks that you can count on. What's gold doing? Gold pulling back now. Minus platinum. Ooh, big pullback on gold. So we see here that it hit, and we have a sell. Wow. So this is about this is over 30 ticks pullback. Big strong move down. So let's see here. Came all the way up to 85.9, and that's where it might have never moved this. So that's our new high of the day, obviously. Is our low. Bitcoin buy signal. Not sure there's anything worthwhile there. So gold. So let's look to see whether or not we hit any resistance points. This is our line. It blew through this area here, coming down. Did kind of bounce in that area for a pullback before coming further down. Wasn't much of a bounce though. So this doesn't look like it's any real important area, but now it is. This is where this move stopped. Now, we are in an uptrend, according to the SMA line. So, usually when you see a big move down like this, it ends up, at least the next candle has some, the opposite direction somewhat. So, I'm hesitant to enter this as a sell, or as a short, I'm sorry. You can see here on the 2-minute chart, if we had entered here, it did go down 9 ticks, has now come back up and ends green. What was that last alert? Natural gas. Natural gas is kind of flirting with trying to go into a buy signal, but you can see that since this big move downward, it's kind of going sideways. NQ. NQ now the sell. Now we're starting to see some movement. So, do we want to be brave and take an NQ trade? I guess the question is, do have upward trending bands on the 5 minute. It's coming right down to this band. So does it have the strength to continue coming down? That's my question right here. 5 minute candle actually ended before this 2 minute candle did. So I guess this might be the signal that I'm looking for to play off of. Do you see it now pulling back? Might need to pull back a candle or two. Well, yeah, a few ticks. Give it some room to kind of move down. This is only, I mean, this is a 10-point candle, which for NQ, I mean, 10 points is $200. For NQ, that's not a huge move, especially this time of day. Okay, well, we're waiting for well, there. Yep, see, have a big move bounce back there. So let's check that copper signal. Move this back out of the way. I need more screens. Copper. So copper's doing this kind of a one big step up, 3 steps back, one big step up, 2 steps back, one big step up. Bonds are continuing to move down off that sim trade we did. Sideways of gas. Oil tried to come back up and got pushed back down. Russell's now continuing after kind of consolidating in a slightly downward momentum. It's continued its downward momentum. NQ's trying to decide what it wants to do. So actually, this ES trade. If I had played this sell signal here, this would have went to profit at 4. Now we are seeing a continued move down here in the Nasdaq. I'm not sure about it, so let's go to Sim. I know that's kind of wimping out, but let's enter a sell short on NQ. on the sim. Wow, really? That was a bad fill on on the market orders. Oh, I have a quantity of two, so it looked worse than what it was. Only meant to do one, but it's sim, so that's not a bad thing. Just think now, I'm not sure it's gonna continue this move downward. It's looking like that's what it wants to do. And here, oh, so we're now in profit on this trade. Again on sim. While that's going on, we'll continue to watch as we see what this what Copper's yelling at me about. Copper's continuing trying to see, oh, big move up, then big move down. Now is really trying to push down. 2 minutes on this candle. These candles are each 20 ticks or more. Now another bounce off the band. So this is exactly what it's doing. If you can, it's band bounce, band bounce, band bounce, SMA bounce, band bounce, down to a band bounce. So we're just basically ranging here while slightly expanding the bands. Overall, it's a downtrend, basically, but it's an annoying one. Still have the sell signal here. I just don't know. None of this is giving me any type of real strong signals that it wants to go either way. I mean, even that Nasdaq trade that we were seeing a profit on, that's now down. That's popped back up here to put us in to the negatives. Again, it's on a sim, so it's not that big of a deal. I just my motto is never doubt copper, but I just don't know if this is going to continue this downward trend. It kind of looks like it wants to. Anyways, bring up a copper chart. Copper, 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 copper. And let's see, this is already 2 ticks down since this sell. It's trying to decide what it wants to do. I see there it's popping up. See again, just no true direction this morning at all. And look here on our sim trade on the Nasdaq. I was right that this was not, it's not, didn't want to follow through on this. It's just showing weakness here, and so this might actually be a good trade. Yep, there we go. I did not enter. Well, see again, back red, green. And you'll see this. This happens. It happened even if good trades. This might end up being a good trade. But if you look how choppy it's been over the last hour, here and here, that's it's not necessarily where the signal formed here. If it hadn't been doing this up down up down up down stuff when the signal came in, I wouldn't have hesitated to take it here, even with these pullbacks that these few tick pullbacks that it's doing. It's just the fact that it was so choppy and lacked any definite direction. That's why I'm hesitant. Now, see, because we had gotten this sell signal here in the 5 minute, and this would have been bad. This would have went back to the SMA line. This would have stopped us out. But back here, this one was good, and this one kind of looks like where we're at now. Not, but it didn't have this choppiness first. It's riding down the bands on the downside, but it kept continuing downward. We have seen that the SMA lines now are both trending downward, but again, we're back to green candles. So I mean, we do have this line here that I drew out. So this is another actual thing to look at. This is where it came when last time it came down, big downtrend. Um, this is where at 44.7605 is where that's where buyers came back in. So we are only 8 ticks from that. So does it have enough room to and enough strength to push down through that space? And if so, I mean, then our next major resistance would be all the way back here, or support, or maybe here. That's the RNQ trade again. Here now we're only down 1 tick. Or, I'm sorry, 1 point. It's like, and now break even. So the market doesn't have any clue what it wants to do right now. Okay, so now this copper trade's finally gonna move. Or it's not a trade. I didn't enter it. We'll mark it off. We'll see what it would have done. There's gonna be a point in time where it's gonna enter every trade and just say, every trade that's not outright wrong. Like this would have been outright wrong here. But and just say, well, with my reward to risk, I can take a few chances. So we'll see. If we had entered here, we will be at one. We'll be 1 tick in the profit. So let's look what everything else is doing. NQ is still trying to move down. We are still on a sim trade on that. If I can find it. There we go. $20 of the profit on that sim trade. The S&P has actually done the more obvious move down. Gold. Let's see. Moving off this big move down, gold. It would just miss what my normal profit target for this time of day was. But still be in profit. You can see that platinum is also bleeding. Crude's continuing to go down. Natural gas is too curious though. I mean, I wouldn't have entered here because of the band break. Curious though, this time of day I would have run a 40 ticks, yeah, even at 40 tick stop loss, which would have been $400, this trade would have stopped us out. Now, is this a bad entry point? No. Check this out. So let's say, it came down here, broke the band, so we expected this to bounce. So what we do is we got back in once it broke here. It came up and then came back down. So we'll mark that off and see how that does. Put our entry right there. We'll be up 17 ticks. Bitcoin just sideways. Bonds bouncing. Bouncing baby bonds. This copper's kind of weirdly sideways with all red candles. NQ sideways too. As you can see, we're still only right at break even on this trade that we've entered almost 15 minutes ago now. Now it's starting to try and move down. So we'll watch this and we'll watch copper for now and watch for any signals. So you see this copper trade has, if we had gone in this trade, we would be down. Just no strong momentum either way. So big bounce on gold. This is what I expected. It didn't happen as quickly as I expected. I said when we see something come down like this hard, we often see it go right back up at least somewhat. It didn't do it on the first two candles. I mean, it tried to. Big wick there, but now it is. So see how much this gains back. So good morning to everybody. It's joined me this morning as we head toward the 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast, 8 o'clock here in the wonderful Midwest. Please feel free to say hi in the chat or ask questions, statements, feedback. Feel free to tell a joke. Trying to see whether or not anything has any follow through here. Copper. Oh, wow. Look at that. So copper finally had follow through and would have gotten to the profit target. Oh, I hate that. Never doubt copper. What did I say? Never doubt copper. This would have been a great $250 win right here or more, depending on what it did with my trailing stop once it hit profit. So I should not have doubted the copper. We finally got direction. It did break through this support line easy. And so we can delete that. And then the next support's all the way down here. I say all the way down, it's another 20 ticks down. Also, it broke through the 200 EMA as well. So that would have been an excellent trade. We can check our NASDAQ. NASDAQ, this would also be a good trade right now. $200 in the profit on the sim. So it looks like now we're starting to get some market direction. Everything's kind of pointing downwards. Hey Gabe, you talking about the copper? I don't know, copper. It when it breaks its EMA, it tends to continue to go in the direction it broke. You know, here you see it break it to the upside, and back here, this was kind of up and down over, around it before finally breaking to the downside. So, and it really hasn't been breaking its EMA lately. It's gone on this crazy run where it's been above its EMA almost for days. So I'm not sure if it's going to continue a downward momentum. It's still flirting with getting near its all-time highs. So, and here we've even seen a bounce, but you might be right. It's bouncing right around the EMA line here, coming back up off this band break. So this will be a great short down, and then bounce off the bands on both the 5 and the 2. You see this reversal doji candle here on the 2 minute. This is great, also a great indicate. Bleh, my mouth is not working. Indication of a reversal into this candle. What was that signal? Natural gas. Natural gas. So this natural gas trade would not have worked out. It reversed as well. Granted, it hasn't stopped, but you see crude still continuing to go down. Crude and natural gas has made a new low for the day. Crude, did I not mark off crude's low, or no? Crude still hasn't. Crude still has a ways to go. Let's see what our Nasdaq trade's doing. I haven't yet heard that it reached profit target or anything. Now we got a buy signal on Natty Gas. It's kind of flirting with it. We're still not. I mean, we're seeing strong. I shouldn't say strong. We're seeing weak momentum downward. You know, that copper trade came down and then bounced. This is the Nasdaq's kind of going downward, but it's iffy. It's not moving down at any fast pace at all. Still will be a good trade. So let's see. We have natural gas flirting here with a buy signal. Is this the reversal? That's the question. So far, the buy signals, lately have not been good. We're seeing an overall downtrend. SMA break, but now we're reversing again. So everything just doesn't want to give a good signal today. This is an interesting signal on gold after that big downturn. Does it want to go back up to whatever caused this little flash 53 tick down candle? This could be a day where we're just not seeing any general momentum until the open, the New York Open. And I don't know, maybe we don't even see any definite momentum then either, but we'll watch for it. I'd like to get one or two more good trades in for the day. Over the last 2 days, 2 trading days since the start of the week, I've only taken 3 trades in the gauntlet, and they've all worked. And for $690 in profit. So I'm not complaining about that, but I would like to get some more. Our sim Nasdaq trade, about $250 in profit. Still only about 6 ticks. I mean, sorry, 6 points. Absolutely, Gabe. Always aiming. Always get some more. Now, see, this move down. It's interesting. This looks so strong that it would have. I telling myself I missed a good trade here, but it only went to that profit target by about 2, 3 ticks, and now completely reversed. So any type of slippage there, and it might not have worked. Just no, there's no follow through today either side. Just about anything. But we're definitely seeing it down. These are downtrending, but so slowly. I mean, when do you see Nasdaq move 2 points a tick on a 5 minute candle? I mean, not 2 points. Yeah, 2 points a tick. Yeah, really, that made a lot of sense. 2 points on a 5 minute candle. And that's what you're seeing here. Nasdaq doesn't move that slow. It really is a weird market right now. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, we saw good uptrend here, big pullback, and another big uptrend. I mean, so maybe this is just another big pullback before the next big move up. I'll be here. Well, crude is crude's the best performer so far this morning. It's gone down now from hour and a half ago, basically. Almost $800. This downward move. But you can see before it did, I mean, you had just uptrend and then this sine wave stuff here where just you try to keep entering here on these signals. This is where, you know, this indicator is not that great. You would have had to have been looking to scalp, basically, because you would have only gotten like 6 or 7 ticks in one direction before it reversed each time, before finally getting this downward direction. You can see that this natural gas trade that I thought was going to stop out is actually now back in the profit. Copper. No idea what it was to do. Gold. Sent off this buy signal and it went sideways. NASDAQ, our NASDAQ trade. It's $210 in profit. It went far enough to move my stop loss to break even. But still not. Now maybe. Maybe just needed attention. Almost 9 o'clock. So we'll want to watch in a couple minutes. That's when the oil pit opens. So watch and see whether or not oil bounces when the pit opens. NASDAQ continuing trying to push down. Copper's trying to tempt me again with some sort of signal. Could have got a buy signal here on copper. Seems to be strong upward momentum. Let's bring up the copper chart and see what we want to do. Oh, we have movement on the NASDAQ. Our NASDAQ trade is now 10 points into profit. So we are watching this. We have basically parallel bands here, horizontal. So these can easily bend these bands up. We'll get in. Kind of got in late there. Immediate pullback. This might have been a bad idea, but we'll see. FYI, we have oh, okay. No, our NASDAQ trade's still going too. So we'll see here. How late did I get in on this trade here? This would have been, this was 47220. Oops, here we go, pullback. Oh, I got in 3 ticks late. Ouch. So right now we would be at break even, or 2 ticks in the profit if I had gotten in without hesitation. There we go. Well, it is really bouncing right now. We went from 10 ticks down, or 8 ticks down, to back 3 ticks up, back to break even. Not sure what it wants to do. Just as we approach 8 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 9 o'clock. Let's move over. Let's put this back to always on top. And we'll move Over to watch what oil does as the oil pit opens. I have a feeling this copper trade was a bad idea, but we'll see. NQ finally hit our profit target. Oh, yep. Ouch. 8 o'clock, it just stopped me out. So that was a very bad trade to enter. Gave back a good portion of my profit. Big move downward. Just, that was frustrating. So up $60 now for the day. Gave back 200. Oil's not really doing anything with the pit open. That was just a massive. I mean, that's just wow. 60 ticks downward on this candle just destroyed me there. Did not see that coming. And I mean, it didn't matter where we got in on that trade, even though I did get in 3 ticks late, but it would just. The indices are heading down south. Now, now we're finally seeing a downward momentum in the market. Nasdaq, S&P, the Russell, gold has gone back up and it's going all the way back up to almost before the big move down. Uh, the bonds continued its move downward. They pull back to the SMA line, but another sell there. There's a huge move. Uh, Oil pit opening did not change the direction, downward momentum of crude or natural gas. Natural gas says, see, this is why you give your trades room. I thought this was going to stop us out here. You know, it went 28 ticks. We were down 290. We've been down $290 if we're in this trade. But that's the risk to try and make 600 here, basically, and it almost just hit our profit. Profit goal right there, maybe 1 tick away. So it's still trying to move downward. We're now at a new low of the day there on natural gas as well. We see the band break here. This copper's trying to bounce. I wasn't sure about this copper trade, and I should not have entered because of that. But I definitely did not see that coming. And what did we do yesterday at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? Is there anything dramatic like that? I do try and look for trends that for times. eh, We actually did the same thing yesterday. It's interesting. So now I need to make sure I'm flat or something at this time of day while we see now 2 days ago or Friday this time started an upward trend, a significant upward trend. So definitely something that pops right at 8 one direction or another, or 9 Eastern. So gotta watch for that. Gold's come all the way back now from this flash crash, but platinum has not. Platinum's still going downward. So we're 25 minutes from the New York Open. Market's kind of showing that it wants to move downward for now. See what happens once we open. We're right near, if we had entered in on this buy signal here, we're right near profit target. Then we just hit it. So that would have been 35 tick winner there. So it looks like most things would have worked this morning except for that one copper trade I tried and of course didn't work. Platinum's chart looks kind of ugly. That's why I'm kind of staying away from even really spending any time resources on that. Since the pit open here on crude oil, we've kind of seen it going sideways. It stopped the bleeding somewhat, but still sideways. Good morning once again. Anyone that's just joining, thank you for joining me this morning. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Comments and questions are always welcome. Probably won't take any more trades until the market opens at 9:30 Eastern, but we're watching. Bitcoin still sideways as well. So we're definitely seeing some strength here on gold. You know, we had a strong uptrend all night. We had this, then we pulled back for a couple hours and came back up, and then we had that huge candle down, 53 ticks, but it's pretty much regained that, but we actually just got another double top. Look, that's interesting there. Yeah, it's interesting. We just double topped again here at the high of the day. You know, when it came up here and then this flash crash, it hit 1785.9. This candle just hit 1786, so one tick difference. So it's basically very well double top. This is for some reason a very important area now. Each time it's hit this area, huge move back down. Let's go backwards here and see if this is anything from prior days. It's not. I think I did that earlier now that I think about it. We can see here, yeah, I definitely did. We can see here as this was coming down on Friday, it started its move. Oh, I mean, it was well into its move, and this area actually was the first pause area of this move, the first big pullback of this down move. And it pulled back, by 40 ticks, 45 ticks before continuing its move downward. And it didn't, once it came back down, started coming back down, it had no problem breaking through that area. So 2 days ago, this was also an important area. It's the area where buyers tried to come in and stop this big downward momentum, and they were able to for half an hour or so and push it back up some. So now this area is acting as resistance. Now they're acting as resistance, and it's big resistance. These are this is a 600 move downward. Now we're looking at a 300 move downward off these bounces off this level. The 2 minutes sent us a sell signal. I don't want to take a sell here. I mean, we're 17 minutes from open. We're seeing these strong move down, and we saw that this move here did not have follow through, went right back up. So there's a good chance we'll see the same thing here. We see oil continuing to trend downward. Let's look at this trade here. Or not trade, but would have been trade. This looks like it would have won to our profit target. It didn't actually. You can see it kind of tickled it. So let's see where this line is. 4888. This came down to 4825. So yeah, that actually would have been a win. So like I say here, we had this sell signal here on natural gas. Broke the band and reversed back, which was indicating it was going to reverse some before it might head downward. So we would have set our entry point to about where this candle closed. And once it came back down, could have entered. We could have entered there too, which would have went down on this wick, back up. Not enough to stop us out, but then either way, so re-enter there, and then we would have been able to go to a profit. Now, would we have re-entered here? That's a good question. That was still right on a band, so you probably would have wanted to see whether or not it was going to continue upwards before you had decided to jump in there. So what do we think? Question. Hi, Rollo. Um, yes. Sure, you did get it on the. Yeah. We did. Here, and you can see it actually came down almost to the same area and it's reversing again. So I would not have taken it. The 2 minute gave us a little bit earlier of a signal, and from that 81 down to, I mean, that would have been a good scalp. That would have been 19 ticks down. Would have been a good scalp. Kind of bounced off the the EMA line. But so that would have been a good scalp play there. But off the 5 minute chart, it would not have been. You can see immediately buyers are coming back in, pushing this back up, and it's almost uncanny how it bounced in the same area. Bounced off this resistance, and then these candles almost line up perfectly. This is it's very weird to see two candles like that. This one came down to 78.8. This one came down to 79.1. This one had a little bit more on the next candle, but this one didn't. So now we have things popping. Oh, big, big, big green candles here on the NQ and the ES. And I think we saw something on natural gas as well. Gas is trying to come back up too. Everything's starting to give me a pop. Russell also with a green pop. And the bonds. So all of a sudden everything wants to try and head upwards. Except for copper. What the heck's copper doing? So copper had this big sell that stopped me out of that trade. Again, this is something, I could have been watching. Let's draw a line. This is where, it came down. And we could have gotten back in here or here. I usually go for the close of the where it says to sell. So we could have got back in on this candle. These have been great trades. Copper is just totally bleeding out right now. This is a huge move down, really. From the here. Sorry. From here, 477 down to 471. Um, this is 1250. This is where this is just this candle right here. This 2 minute candle. God, oh okay. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Yeah. this was a 66 tick candle. That candle alone was over $800, and this total moves over 1,500. So that was a huge move down. This move is what stopped us out here. If we had tried to get in here, we would have got stopped back out going that way because my stop's 15 ticks, and that would have taken us out. Then this moved downward. So we should have looked to get back in when it crossed this white line, and that would have been a great trade. This straight, because this was going straight down. My trailing stop would have kept following it. This probably would have been an 800, somewhere between a $500 and $800 winner. So we've seen these moves up here on the indices, but they weren't real strong moves. I mean, it was a quick move up just to the SMA lines, basically, and now back to being red candles. So we'll see what that does. The, we're kind of sideways now in gold as well. 8 minutes to the U.S. Open. I'm going to go silent. I'll continue rotating through the screens, but I'm going to choose some breakfast here real quick. Okay, we see natural gas is trying to make them push up off these lows. Let's mark off here where it gave us this buy signal. Let's see if it would have got to profit goal, which at this time of day I run 60 ticks. First I need it there, which is a $600 goal, but it seems like that's what natural gas likes. And whatever natural gas likes, natural gas gets. So we have gold here, just also now indecisive. And we're just, wow. This is this is a $2,500 move from this sell signal. This candle here that stopped us out down to here now. So copper's giving back. If you look here now, this is pretty impressive. Copper gave back all its gains from the day. It's below anything it did yesterday, so we've got to go back to Friday. around here. And look at those bands. Wow. Look at that band stretching. Like a big alligator sticking out its tongue. So it's going to be interesting to watch too. You know, we now have a 300 tick range basically today on copper. I got to start paying more attention to catch these bigger moves. Back to chewing. Good morning, Mr. G. Welcome. How long have you been trading, Mr. G? Do you have your own account or brokerage account? Or are you trading some sort of funding program or? Awesome. How long have you been trading? Oh, excellent. Um, well, I definitely, if you're going to go for a, a funded account, I definitely recommend Earn to Trade. They're the place I do consider the best. Options. I'm not I've tried to learn options when I was checking out stocks, and I just never got the hang of them. I never figured out the whole Greeks thing and all that stuff. So I haven't really looked much into that yet. We are 1 minute away from the New York Open. So I'm going to try and finish my breakfast in the next 52. Mission accomplished, breakfast finished. Cool. Are you pretty successful with that, Mr. G? Okay. Here's the open, and ding, 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 ding. So off the open, we see move upwards on the Nasdaq and the S&P. Uh, but nothing spectacular. Market's still trying to figure out what it wants to do here. Oh, now we have big moves down. I mean, big moves. That's not really a big move. It's a very relatively small move. We'll see whether it leads to a bigger move. 9 points down so far is the most I've seen here. Oh, there we go. Now we got some momentum downward. Now we don't. Still no strength either way, either long or short. There, up. As they say that, it pushes down again. See the ES is down just 3 points. Waiting to see whether or not market gives us any kind of direction. So right now it's really indecisive. Trying to push up now. Bitcoin futures trying to also push up. Copper bounced off that low I put here. Gold sideways. I'm using a 5 minute, 2 minute. Every now and then I'll look at a higher time frame, but mostly 5 minute and 2 minute. And I use 5 minute for the overall, and then I'll trade off the 2 minute. Like, so if I'm on a buy signal trending here, and I'll grab any other buy signals off the two. And you don't need to call me sir. Ox is fine. Everybody calls me Ox. Definitely, it looks like the market wants to push down. That seems to be the way it's going. But we're seeing these big wicks, so it's indecisive. Um, kind of. I mean, you might be considered a scalp strategy. I mean, I don't stay in a trade all day or anything like that, but I mean, I have trades that can last a minute, and I have trades that could last hours. I go for a certain profit target usually. Like, if we look here, let's go backwards. Like here, this trade here, I was shooting for 15 points on the NASDAQ. And this took, almost an hour. So I mean, I guess some people consider that a scalping strategy of looking for a few points. But, this trade here would have lasted like 4 hours before it finally went. I just go for a specific profit target, and I'm looking for multiple entries every day on various assets. Um, am I looking to? But my overall strategy will be Like, let me find something that's better trending. Oh, now we have big movement downward. So now it looks like we have our market momentum. It's downward. But like, something like this where gold went overnight from here to here, my strategy would be to run like 3 contracts, get a profit target of like, say 30 ticks for one, and then let the others kind of roll up and maybe use the ATR as a trailing stop. So where I might stay in this trade the entire way up with 1 or 2 additional contracts. Just right now I'm only running 1 contract per trade just because I don't want to take any type of huge loss without having a cushion right now. So yeah, that my overall goal is to stay in the trades longer, but I'm just shooting for little amounts right now with 1 contract, just to try and get a cushion before I start trying to stay in trades longer. And because if you're entering in trades longer with 3 contracts and it goes against you, then you're taking a loss that's times 3, and I just don't have the cushion to do that yet. So let's look back here. So it looks like we're going down. Now we're bouncing up. We still don't really have a direction. It wants to go down, it looks like, but it's continuing to kind of try to be. If we had gotten in here on this short call, which I wouldn't have because of how nasty it looked, but see, this time of day I'm shooting for 30 points on the Nasdaq, and this only got to like 14. So this looks like it could be a slower day. This trade here on natural gas would have worked again. Crude's still going down at another new low. Copper bouncing back to the SMA. Gold. Looks like gold's now decided it wants to go down as well. Ooh, agriculture. Big red open. Yeah, ES definitely looks like. I mean, I don't. Well, here's a big rebound here on both ES and the Nasdaq. I'm still thinking downward as well, but it looks like the Bulls and the Bears don't want to give up easily here. Either way, I mean we've been downtrending basically since about 8 a.m. Eastern, but yeah, it's definitely been a grind. And this is a 4 point candle coming back up on this 2 minute. Yep, big strong momentum back upwards. So we see here on the Nasdaq, this is a 30 point candle. So this might be our new direction because it basically, I mean, it just wiped out all the losses since the open and now is heading upwards. Yeah, this has been a good place to enter off this buy. It looks like maybe we might be heading grinding upwards now. And that's how the open can fake you out. You think you got momentum downward, and then it just hits a point and then reverses, which is kind of what it did yesterday. If we look at yesterday, the open here, 8:30 on the ES, 9:30. I'm sorry. It reversed by about 6 points, and then bounced back up and basically went up and then sideways. Up, grinded up the rest of the day. So does look like we have momentum on the upside now. Though we do have a band bounce off the Bollinger in the 2. Still slightly indecisive. If we look back here on natural gas, I'm thinking I need to start trading this more often. Like taking actual trades in the gauntlet. This has been an excellent 1, 2, 3. This is a loss. 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 7 and 1, 8 and 1. This thing's 10 and 1 on the day. Now, you notice there's signals I didn't utilize here. That's because they were far up into the Bollinger Bands. So, 10 to 1, that's freaking impressive. All right, now we see this pullback. So it's like, it's very indecisive. Crude. Crude showing its first sign of life as it comes back to the SMA. Wow. Wow, look at that. See, now we're heading back downwards again. So I got no clue what the market wants to do at this point. If we had gotten in here off this sell signal, it would have went down from 91.75 down to 89.25. That would have only been a point and a half. This buy signal would have totally fizzled. I have no idea what it wants to do. Mr. G, have you taken any trades on this wildness, or are you just sitting back and watching kind of like I am? Now we're back going green again. So big red candle down, big green candle up, big red candle down, big green candle up. Mr. G, if you haven't already, you should check out the Earn the Trade Discord. There is even you don't need to be a member of Earn the Trade to be on the Discord. There's a group of guys in there that every day talk about the ES and look at levels and planning and stuff like that. And it's really great talk. They talk about the demand zones, supply zones, and VWAP and V other V's. It's good conversation, and you might find some use out of that. Bouncing off ideas. In addition, every Sunday afternoon lately, they've been doing like a study group to talk about what they expect. What looking back at the week prior, and then what they expect for the week ahead. You might really enjoy that. So the energies are showing life here. We have a buy signal on crude. We do have downward bands coming down, and we still have a strong downtrending SMA line. So that gives me pause on this buy signal, but we'll watch it. You're welcome, Mr. G. Do you need the link for the Discord? I believe the bot might have. Yeah, the bot just sent it out not too long ago. And of course, that invite is for everybody that's watching, listening, whatever. Earn and Trade Discord's a great place for trader chat and sometimes just friendly chat. It's a very friendly community uh, for beginners and veterans alike. Good, lots of good talk there. And it doesn't matter if you're, a member of Earn a Trade. It doesn't even matter if you're doing like an evaluation in another funding company. You're welcome there. So we're about 10 minutes from 10 o'clock. Seems like maybe the market does want to go up today. I don't know. It's hard to tell at this point. But we see that, I don't know. But you know what? I'm next going to shut up because don't know what it wants to do yet. We still have everything looking like it wants to trend downward, but these moves up, you know, right now everything would have stopped me out. That move would have stopped me out. Pretty sure this one would have as well, but let's look. Yeah, that one would have stopped me out too. So, trying to play off these signals on this up and down stuff would have been hard. Just, that's why I kind of stay away from the open. Now, it's interesting, we're looking at the Russell here. Did I not move the Russells? I guess I didn't. The Russell isn't showing that same choppiness. I mean, it's showing somewhat. You can see it here, but it's still looking mainly like a downtrend. To the fact that it really hasn't sent any additional signals. It sent a sell signal here, and I think that would have worked too. Let's look at this sell signal here. Run a 87 tick by 60 tick on the Russell, and yeah, that would have worked. It sent that sell 4 minutes before the open, so that's interesting. It did do a fake out buy here, but we saw we were in a pretty strong downtrend. So once we, that would be a great entry there. So the Russell's giving us a lot smoother signals than the NASI and the S&P. If anyone is interested in checking out uh, Earn a Trade in itself, I'm going to post the link in the chat. And for those of you on Twitch, you're probably wondering who the heck I'm talking to because I'm using Restream, which means which allows me to stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And so you're probably wondering who I'm talking to. It shows me the chats from both areas all in one chat. So those on Twitch, you're not seeing Mr. G's talking because he's on YouTube, but that's who I'm talking to. Someone in the YouTube chat. The 1 hour bar, what are your thoughts? At 10 a.m. The 1 hour chart on the ES. Let's take a look. Cool. I'm trying to grow both channels. I actually expect more out of YouTube than I do out of Twitch because Twitch is more gaming than trading stuff. There's a lot more trading content on YouTube, but I'm working on growing both. The 1 hour chart still showing bearish. It closes green and above the prior 1 hour close. Um, we're only 4 minutes away. It does not look like it's going to close green. Well, it might. What did it open? This open at 93. We're at 92, so it's teetering on the edge of green. There it goes. The 1 hour chart shows we're definitely in an uptrend. So this is a pullback candle before we go further up. I'm starting to think, yes, we are in an uptrend for the day. It keeps wanting to fight, but I mean, it looks ugly there. This is on the 2 minute. I'm thinking it's going to want to go up, but I would not be for. I'm not sure yet, honestly. Yeah, this Restream software, is definitely good. Until I can pay for it, I have to deal with that Restream logo up there at the top. But that's okay. It's been doing well for me, and I'm happy to be able to do both at once. So it looks like, I mean, now it looks. I bet you we're back below on the 1 hour chart. Yeah, I don't know what this market wants to do today. I don't know what direction it really wants. I mean, now we're seeing a 35-point pullback here on the Nasdaq. I believe you should be seeing. Maybe you don't see it. Interesting. Hold on. Here, let me bring this. This is gonna be weird. Hey Jay, how's it going? But here, this is my Restream screen, and you can see the chat here is a double chat. And up here, there's this white Restream logo. I thought this was appearing on the streams, but maybe it's not. It's also telling me my bit rate is too high, and I don't know what the heck that even means. But yeah, so this Restream logo here, I thought that was appearing on the streams itself. Huh. How about that? Okay. That's even better. So I thought that was in the way of people being able to view stuff at the top corner. Interesting. That makes this software even better. So it's just in my way. I no, that doesn't bother me any. How's it been going, Jay? I haven't taken any trades this morning. Everything's been kind of sideways. There was some opportunities earlier, but I mean, see this mess right here on the 2 and the 5 minute charts on since the open. Um, and earlier, I totally missed. I stopped. I did take a trade. I'm sorry. I got stopped out on copper when it just. I took this buy here, and then all of a sudden it dropped down 45 ticks. So I lost there. Oh no, the Restream is just software. It's not like it's the software I use to be able to uh, send the stream to both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. It's not an actual web page. but I thought they were putting their logo on it. But yeah, Copper had his bottom fall out by $2,500 per contract, and I didn't get any of the move because I was actually it just happened really quick. But other than that, everything's kind of sideways. Natural gas is still performing well, but it's been a slow grind all morning on the indices, and then we have whatever it's trying to do since open. We got bounces on soybean oil. Copper's now kind of sideways since it did that big dramatic move earlier. Gold also is ugly. It's doing this snaking thing. Bonds also kind of snaking. We see everything's kind of range. I shouldn't say everything, but this is kind of rangy. That would have been a decent trade going down, but none of these others would have worked. Bot's working overtime now. So crude looks like this would have been a good trade to get into. I was hesitant because I wasn't sure this is where the reversal was, but it's up 20 ticks. Copper sending a signal, probably a buy signal. Sure how much I trust it. Confusing indecision. I'd like to get one more nice trade in this morning if I can find something. You can see that copper's flirting with trying to send this buy signal, and it's sent it just as it opens a new candle. So let's try and maybe we shouldn't jump into there. Looks like it wants to go up to this. Might want to go up to the SMA line here, and I don't have the confidence in it breaking back through it. SMA line is it would have room to go though, but pulling back. Kind of figuring this out. This trade's probably gonna burn me for not taking it. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. I'm just, looking for some direction here. Oh, still on an hour chart there. So, back to Mr. G, if you're still here, we did finish red on that 1 hour candle in the S&P, but now we got this big, now we are seeing a move up. So, if it were me at this point, we're about 6 points away from its high of the day. I'm I'm kind of hesitant to get in unless I'm looking just to scalp a couple points to get in before it hits this high of the day. Especially since we've seen how much indecision that there is here. Now, if I want to, scalp a few points, then yeah, getting in here and going for like a 2 point scalp would probably be good. But if you're gonna try and look for the start of a trend, I'm not sure that's where we're at right now. Okay, so I was good. I made the right decision not getting in on this buy signal because we just stopped. We would have stopped out. You definitely seem to know what you're doing, so far, Mr. G. You're definitely, if you're interested in a funded account, you should definitely start looking into that. What I tell people with a funded account is, do it in a simulator first, you know, by the rules of the, that you have to follow in the evaluation. And then once you do it in the simulator, then actually go for the gauntlet, and then you're already done in the simulator, so you know it should just be a piece of cake when once you're doing it for real. Jay, yeah, you're doing really good with that. You seem like you're getting some good insights off of that. So wouldn't be a bad idea. Any specific thing you're looking to test now, Jay? That you're looking to look for in that playback? Those are good tests. I definitely, I sometimes, yeah, lots of people trade the micros on the evaluations and the funded accounts. Uh, it's a good strategy. It's a safer strategy than playing the smaller, ones, or a building block to where you get to feel comfortable trading the instead of trading the micro, eventually moving up to the mini. Well, if you have any questions about anything um, with Earn a Trade, definitely ask. I pretty much know most of the evaluations and can answer most of the questions. Or if you want a different company, you can check out Canadian Future Traders YouTube channel. He evaluates all the big funding companies, but Earn a Trade is definitely my favorite. So yeah, I mean, definitely, I would definitely recommend. Yeah, yeah, this would have been a good trade to enter, and it looks like it is trying to move up there. So let's mark this off on the chart. Oh, I'm still on an hour chart. No wonder. Oops. That's why. So yeah, this will be a good entry here. Looks like the S&P is wanting to move upwards. We've gotten in here. Normally I shoot for, actually this time of day normally I shoot for 6 points. So let's just see what if it would have hit 4 points. It's definitely, we're already at 2.5. But yeah, I can definitely answer any questions you might have if you have any, Mr. G. NQ also showing now upward trending. Do I want to be brave and enter an NQ trade? Why not? NQ. Pulling back now. Signal went away. You're welcome. Kind of a slow grind now, and now both the S&P and the Nasdaq pulling back. Russell also kind of did the same little thing, but still looking like a downtrend there, definitely. Well, not sure why I did that, but okay. Gold totally bleeding out now. So it did finally find its direction as well. Just would have been rough. I think, if I tried to get in on the short call here, I don't know, it wouldn't have stopped me out. That one would have worked. That sucks. Would have hit profit target there. If we had gone down to a 1 minute, could have got in there. I think we would have been good there as well. Yeah, I think. Would have been scary. But this pulsing it's doing is making it hard to do this. Yeah, that would have been a winner too. So we could have got 3 straight winners here out of gold, and this one here it didn't go fully to the profit target. Actually, oh, we're on 1 minute. If we had been on a 1 minute chart, it would have, because we would have got in one candle or 1 minute earlier. That 1 minute makes that much of a difference. But it went enough to profit target that I would have stopped out at like $100. So three, four, five, 5 trades in a row on gold that would have won. It was 6-1, 7-1. Gold would have been a great day today. 9-1. This one didn't go all the way, so 9-2. think I should switch over for the next stream, and maybe I should switch over to Sim and just take every possible trade. Back to the ES. It's still grinding. Well, not much happening right now. Looks like we have a sell on the natural gas again. Does seem to be trending somewhat downward. We have a upward trending SMA. I need to take some time to study this. See how many times we have an uptrending SMA that the 2-minute chart still works. It always gives me hesitation when there's a trending SMA and a 5-minute. We get a signal in the 2-minute just to see how like that's going to be resistance. Jay, why not? Was that to my comment about going over to Sim for the next stream and just taking every possible trade? Yeah, I mean I might need to do something like that just to prove to myself that this works. I keep hesitating on trades, and maybe if I just sell a scene where if I take every trade and I came out positive, that that would maybe finally convince me that I need to be taking more opportunities. Because you're seeing all these trades, like natural gas, and I think you weren't here yet, Jay. When I looked back on natural gas today, it's 9-1 or 10-1. 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, loss 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 10-1, 10-1, 10 wins, 1 loss, and these are not small wins. Each of these are $400, and you know this time these here are $600. So that was 8 wins and 1 loss on the $400. So 8 times 400 minus 200 on the loss, and then another 1,200. Oops, I subtracted that, didn't I? Yeah, but okay. So it was 3,000 plus 600. That'd be $4,200. Just one contract, natural gas trading it since open. So I think I just need. I mean, the spreadsheet's supposed to be what proves to me that this works, but maybe I just need to see it in action. I don't know. I did ignore some signals because they were in the bands. And if they're deep into the bands on the 2-minute, I don't take the trade. But this one might not have counted because this one I started figuring out. If I had gotten back in based on this, I would not have gotten in once because I expected this pullback because of the break of the bands. And then I could have got back in here, and that would have worked. I day trade. Um, Sorry. I day trade. I keep charts up all day long, basically. I don't trade overnight right now, because that's when I'm sleeping. But I trade both in the evenings and the mornings, and I still keep charts up in the afternoon. I find afternoon tends to be more losing trades than winning trades. So, but yeah, I start watching charts at the open. I don't take many trades right at the open, but starting about 8 p.m., I really start watching until I go to bed, and then again, and once I get up in the morning, and then I have to start working and stuff about 10 or 11. So that's when my concentration goes away somewhat. But eventually, when I no longer have to worry about earning money during the day, um, I probably going to want to trade overnight because I really like the way things move overnight. There's a lot more trending stuff overnight, it seems like. But what I do, and I realize why you asked this question, Mr. G. Um, what I do for everything that I looked at, I consider trading, I chart off all day and all night. I chart off how trades would have worked out. Um, so I chart them all off, even if I wouldn't have been on that at that time, just to see what kind of stats I would have gotten based on that. Um, my favorite thing to trade is copper. Copper seems to do really well for me. That's what that's my go-to. But I look at just about everything. I look at the indices. I look at the other metals, and I look at oil and that. And someone told me about natural gas this 2 weeks ago, and I really like natural gas. And I also look at the bonds, but copper and the indices are probably my top. Yeah, I like copper. I like gold. I don't mess too much with silver yet because silver has that higher tick value. You can get in trouble quickly on silver. But I definitely like copper. Even though copper hurt me last week when I kept thinking it was going to bounce and it kept just going parabolic. Yeah, the S&P is nice. I definitely prefer the S&P over the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is just wild. Yeah, most of the time. Today it's been almost a bit tame, but the S&P is definitely of the indices. It's actually the Russell that I like the best. Russell, you see, it seems to move smoother than the ES or the NQ. I would say uh, most of my good trades happen in the evening. I Most of my good trades happen between 8 p.m. Eastern and midnight Eastern. Um, I tend to be gun shy during the fast movement after the open in New York. Last night I did a $260 trade on gold, and the night before I scored a 300 some odd dollar win on copper and a $130 trade on gold. So the evenings when things are moving just a bit slower and they seem to trend a bit more is when I really like to trade. Wow, I missed that move on BTC. BTC futures hit almost 65,000. Dropped down to below 62. Natural gas, natural gas bounced off the SMA. I don't stream all day. I stream like 5 times a week for about 3 hours at a time. Um, Once I don't have to do other work to make money, I'll probably stream more. But right now, like after today, I'll be ending this stream here probably in the next half an hour. Then I'll stream next tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. and then Thursday morning at 7:30 a.m. and then Friday at 7:30 a.m. And that's basically I try to stream like 4 or 5 times a week now. I did an overnight stream once. And I apologize if you're hearing voices behind me. I don't have a private room to be streaming from, but um, I do. I did an overnight stream once, but I barely had any viewers, so I don't know when I'll do that again. I'm in the Midwest. I'm on the Central Time Zone, but I make sure when I'm talking on the chat that I say the Eastern times because I know that more people correlate the Eastern time to with the trading. So I try to keep that in mind and adjust to people's Eastern time. I used to live on the East Coast, and so I know East Coast is better. Though yeah, those are Eastern times. I was giving away Eastern, so I'll be on tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, and then Thursday morning at 7:30 Eastern time, and Friday morning at 7:30 Eastern time. You're welcome. We're getting a cell signal on copper. Looks like it might want to go down again. Um, I post them on Twitch. Restream has a thing where I can do the scheduling too, but for some reason then it would start two different, yeah, two different streams when I start it for some reason. It would say I'm live twice. So I'm not sure if YouTube. I guess YouTube has a place to schedule it too. I can start doing that. I just have trouble finding time to do everything. I know. I don't mind you asking your questions. I prefer when people are asking questions and interacting. I mean, I'm not just droning on and on and on about this resistance point or that resistance point. Speaking of that, that resistance point can go away. Give me a second. Let me see. Huh. Good question. Give me 1 second while I find that. Uh, guess maybe I have a extension on Twitch, but it's not. It doesn't update in the actual schedule area. So I might need to work on that as well. There's a countdown thingy on Twitch. I'll work on that. Yeah, it looks like I need to update something here. So I'll work on that schedule thing. If you visit my subreddit, I always have the schedule up there for the week. I can give that direct link. Hold on 1 second. So metals are definitely kind of bleeding out. We still have major indecision here on both the Nasdaq and the S&P. Russell's still going down. Bonds are still trending down. Okay. Starting to just kind of slow down and things are starting to go sideways. If nothing exciting happens in the next few minutes, we'll wrap up for the day. I'll work on getting a better schedule up on YouTube and Twitch as well. Um, see, I'm not sure where that extension shows on Twitch. Oh, let's see. Maybe I can figure it out. Oh, there we go. Right on the page, on the Twitch page, below the actual stream, you'll see an advert, a trade, and you'll see the box that shows the schedule and where it says now live, but it shows the schedule for the rest of the week as well. I do an updated schedule each week just based on my schedule for when I have available time. So I adjust it week per week, and I post it each week on the Reddit. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I sometimes stumble over words and I sometimes hem and haw, but I try my best. Uh, I'm hoping to continue to grow these channels and, you know, be a place where people can learn and, watch as I get funded and hopefully continue, become a profitable trader and all this fun stuff. And maybe, really continue growing, and because there's not a lot of futures content out there, trading futures trading content out on YouTube or Twitch. It's mostly stocks with some forex and cryptocurrency mixed in. So it'd be nice to have a nice channel with live trading. I think of the futures market. I mean, there's a couple others that do it, but you know, hopefully I can find my niche here, and this continues to grow. I usually Friday or Saturday I post for the schedule for the next week. Got a buy signal on crude. Seems to want to be moving up. Minute on this candle. Find my crude chart. There it is. So we're watching this. See whether we want to jump in. Signal went away. Signals come back. It's indecisive right now. Yeah, I really like features too. The other thing I like about features is that it's very easy to go, both long and short. With stocks, if you want to short a stock, you gotta find shares to borrow, and there's borrowing fees and all that other stuff. And so, the fact that you can make money if the market's tanking or if the market's going to the moon, for me is one of the big things. Well, what I noticed overnight is things that's, we get this a lot of times in the New York sessions, we get this chop that we're seeing today, where you're not really sure which way you want to, you're going. Whereas, overnight, it just seems to me that things trend more overnight. We had this move upwards, a big pullback, but, mainly a move up instead of this up and down stuff. You know, gold overnight just, was one big trend upwards basically all night. So yeah, things move slower in the overnight, but you tend to more move in one direction. Now you do have times where it's just boring, but that's also why I like to trade more than one thing. While I probably would be better off if I just concentrated on one or two assets, I like having something to trade almost at all times. Yeah, micros are definitely allowing people to get in more on, give more access. It's no longer prohibitive to get into the futures. I still like doing it the funding way, where I'm not risking my own money at all, except for the evaluation fees. But I mean, eventually, my goal once I'm funded, and get my finances in order, will be to eventually move to my own brokerage account where I'm not, where I get 100% of the profits. I'm just with Earn to Trade. Yeah, I'm just doing the funded trading uh, evaluation. I don't have my own futures brokerage account anywhere. Just doing Earn to Trade because I don't have a lot of personal money, and with my own money. So that's why the funding thing really is uh, important to me. So I can get funded and without risking any capital that I don't have the risk. This is what you're seeing here is TradingView. Um, and then I enter orders in on NinjaTrader. So this is where I enter my orders, but the charting, that all this charting is done on TradingView, TradingView.com. I really like it. It has, you have hundreds of indicators you can try out. It has, easy charting, lots of different time, you can easily switch time frames. It's just, it's where I really like to be able to keep track of everything. That's the link for TradingView. Yeah, I have Thinkers. I do have a TD Ameritrade account for when I was trying to day trade stocks. I've used the Thinkorswim system, the platform, and it's a good platform as well. I haven't really just because I don't want like 10,000 different platforms up on my computer at one time. I haven't really brought it up, but it has a lot of good stuff to it as well. So it doesn't look like the market's really giving us any direction today. It's definitely choppy. Choppy. Yeah, I've never dealt with Ninja Trader staff. I use Ninja Trader to enter the trades on Earn a Trade. Yeah, that's just the platform I had for Earn a Trade. Haven't had to deal with their brokerage or their customer support at all. It's just the platform I use for ETT. I don't know who I'll eventually go with once I'm ready for my own brokerage account. There's lots out there. Yeah, I've heard good things about both Thinkorswim and Tastyworks. So I think we're going to wrap up here. Looks like I missed my definite opportunities early in the morning. Now everything's just kind of choppy. So I'm gonna call it a day here in the stream, and we'll be back here at 7:45 tomorrow evening, and then again Thursday and Friday mornings at 7:30 a.m. Thank you everyone for joining me today, and thank you Mr. G for engaging me in conversation, so I didn't have to keep droning on and on about resistance points and all that good stuff. Hope you all join me on tomorrow night or Thursday morning or Friday morning. Have yourselves a great rest of the day. Bye. Yeah, Jay, it is, but still, talking about the same resistance point for 20 minutes gets a little, boring. Okay. See you later, everybody. Bye.